Hey you. Good evening and morning to ya. Yes, I still have all my Christmas stuff up, but it's only January. Don't rush me. Star Citizen 3.18 has been in PTU for about a month now, and I know you fiending for it to get cracking on the live server, so how close are we? Be here next week? End of the month? What's going on here? Well, all my instructors said it's better to show than to tell, so let's take a gander at what's cracking right now. Like up, sub up, and ring up like a boss. This vid is sponsored by the TinkerJoy flight stick, but we'll hip you to that a little later. If you've been watching live streams, you know that from the beginning, we've had rough times just logging into a server. There's been some fixes in place and it's gotten several times better with each update, but it can still test you a bit from time to time with consecutive infinite loading screens. You can work around them, but they are there. Logging in is about a hair's length from being open PTU worthy. Performance is all over the place. Generally, it's on par and at times even better than 3.17, but you do get huge lag spikes, worse than anything I've seen in a long time, dropping from 70 plus frames a second down to 24 or even single digits. And that's not just in situations with a full server. I've got hit with lag spikes like that with 9 people in the server. What's pretty cool is seeing the differences between high and low server tick rates or server FPS, which is how it's indicated now. Some servers, even when they're pretty heavily populated, can have server frame rates upwards of 20 to 30 frames a sec, which makes everything smooth, because smooth is smoother than smooth. You don't get those micro stutters we've always had, which kind of de-immerses the experience. Ain't that right, G-Ro? But as the server grows gray hair, the tick rate goes down, but it's still on average better than what they were a week or more ago. So you can see the progress. It's not quite ready for live, but it's good enough for the next wave. Persistent entity streaming is working like a champ. Thought it'd be way buggier since it's brand new, but you can place things anywhere in the verse and be confident that unless another player moves it, it's gonna be there when you return. It'll be interesting to see what kind of wild things players get up to with it. I thought this was a great way to be greeted at the spaceport, so shout out to whoever Pico-fired the place up. Pico Entity streaming for life. The day after I published the quick route to get to the Microtech Entrenched River, I spawned back into the 400i, bed logged in where there were 6 ships I left along the bank. Super dope, because I can leave it there with a stash of supplies and re-up while staying off the radar. Be a good way for pirates to stay supplied when they can't dock and go shopping. PES was a big addition to the verse, so combined with Gen 12 and other new items under the hood, there's a lot to clean up, but items persisting is so on point and works like it's ready for the live servers. 30Ks and other crashes were excruciating. Sometimes it'd be crashy as a Black Friday battle mode shopping cart derby. The worst part about it was when logging in after a 30K caused you to fall through the elevator floors. I had to make a vid to show everybody how to get around it, because otherwise you'd have to reset your character, which destroys your progress, which means you can't get to new missions, which require a certain level of rep. It's kind of funny now, because after CIG got back from holiday, that's the first thing they fixed, but back then it wasn't funny at all when it was happening. Good to be able to laugh about it now though. Stability still isn't perfect, but it's close enough to be acceptable for wave 2. So I want to get into the gameplay, but first I want to show you what I think is a super cool project that we don't deserve but need in spaceflight games. Shout out to the sponsor of this vid. The TinkerJoy flight stick is the first product I've ever been excited enough about to give a spot in the vid, and let me show you why. High build quality, custom buttons, custom colors, made to order, ambidextrous flight sticks that you can mod. I mean, who wouldn't want some Anvil or Origin themed sticks to take off with? But get me some Dre colors though. The project is moving toward its crowdfunding stage, and you can keep up with its progress and watch videos of the prototypes and development on Mastodon via Nixie at nixie.name. Link in the description. So, how well is the gameplay itself working? Well, it's a mixed bag. Some missions can't be completed due to missing NPCs or progress not being logged, but we're not entirely new to that, are we? Delivery missions can crap out on you. Cargo grids can be a little iffy at times, not letting you lock boxes on a certain parts of the grid, which means they may not be detected when you go to sell them at this point. Selling RMC, aka salvage, was pretty messed up, but so far as of the latest patch, seems to work pretty good. Before the newest build, if you filled up the cargo grid, there was a good chance that the commodity kiosk would detect none of it, so you couldn't sell it. When that happened before the new build, I took some advice and stashed half my 16 boxes in a location outside an Armistice, relogged, sold my inventory, went back and picked up the stash and sold that off. Even though we're not supposed to have to do this, it's pretty dope to see PES at work, to leave, log out, come back to this location and find my cargo exactly where I left it. It's very, very cool, my dude. If you stash some things, watch where you leave them. They do show up on radar. Quick side note, the verse is getting very, very dirty with everybody leaving their trash everywhere. They should throw out some incentives to toss things in the trash. A couple credits per items tossed in the bin, dispose of enough stuff and unlock a maintenance outfit or something. I could really use that for a series I want to continue. Anyway, even though it was stated to be a temporary issue, we now have a working system to craft multi-tools, tractor beam, and salvage attachments, as well as salvage canisters to fill up and repair ships with. Or to sell, you greedy mother sucker. The multi-tool takes most of an SCU to craft, which is kind of a lot, but you won't really care if you need it and don't have it. The attachments and canisters cost a fifth of an SCU each. It works great. Impossible to complete missions, pilot seats putting you in a full Nelson, and sketchy cargo detection. Gameplay wise, we're not ready to move even to the next wave on that. Normally the known issues decrease and the bug fixes increase through each build and PTU, but they're kind of taking the scenic route this time around. Let's go through some of the more conspicuous items you come across. Oh yeah, turtles are back! Those lovable bowls of soup that we haven't seen since, wow, what patch was that? Anyway, they're hanging out in Area 18, but you still can't go back into your hab, so co-pilot. Asterisk by this because it's supposed to be fixed by the time of this vid, but you know how that goes. Carrick and 400i elevators were backwards and sometimes sent your ass through the planet. Surprise elevator ejection is always a good way to get the blood flowing, but again, that may be fixed at this point. Paying off your fine or storing your ship can sometimes lead to a long wait for your ship to be transferred to storage. Some of the rude shopkeepers have learned to shut the fuck up before they get clapped. Occasional problems with infinite load and inventory. Connie snubs don't work, just like ye olden days. Rocks around rivers and Whistler's Crypt can kill you. Commuters in Area 18 are on Widow. Grav-led vehicles are falling on their face drunk. They serving up whale sashimi. Side note, there's a new bomb in town, and its name is Thunderball. Size 3 to lay the carpet down on the ground dwellers. Sprinting is weird. Small turns make your heart rate go down. Now that I think about it, I'm not sure that that's just PTU. Let me know if you've noticed that in live. I was expecting the move all feature to be problematic, but it's been flawless for me, but I've seen other folks in chat saying it's not working so hot for them. Trams do really erratic things. They might murk you out if you ain't careful. Freshly spawned ships can appear damaged. The absolute best bug in the game is the jump off the roof and teleport to the spaceport bug. Fantastic. But they patched it. Good while it lasted though. Really, you don't want 3.18 to be in live right now. It'd be a disservice to you and the project in general in the state that it's in right now. It's fine for folks who understand what PTU was about, but to ask everybody to take a dive into the state that it's in would be a little much. Overall, 3.18 ain't ready to hit the doors and go to live yet, but it's going pretty hard toward the end zone, and with a couple more patches, looking really close to at least wave 2 PTU within maybe a week or so, and maybe open PTU in the next couple if they don't hit any major blockers. Live by early next month seems realistic, possibly a bit before. You never know, they could be like, hey, let's just get this thing out of here so we can move on. Personally, I would manage my expectations and have a week into February in mind. You might disagree though, let me know in the comments.